everybody. Welcome to the Getting Naked with TJ podcast with your host, Tommy John III. If you follow me on Instagram, that word's kind of weird, follow. If you just happen to participate in the information that I share, you're not necessarily following me, but you are using me as a resource, as a tool for you to implement these practices or these principles that are flawless and fail-safe, because I didn't invent them, into your own life so that you can be the leader in your own life, because at some point, you are going to have to lead. Taken from the book, Mutant Message Down Under. Was it a scam? Was it a whatever? I don't really give a shit. The Aborigines seemed like legit people. Everything that they talked about seems like a legit way of life, and that's kind of how we should be living. So I found truth in it. Made sense to me. It's how I live my life. But one of the biggest markers in that book was you're going to have to lead at some point. And the woman who stayed with the Aborigines had to lead this tribe with out into the desert. At some point, whether it's me, whether it's Dr. Cassie, whether it's Vlad, like, we're going to tell you or suggest you or to you or give you ideas on things that we feel would be most beneficial to you based on our truth. And our truth is massive experience and the fact that we've healed ourselves. And continually, repeatedly in our own lives and with the people that choose to do the work. We are going to make suggestions, but you're going to have to take it and lead and not be healed by a following. You can't follow to health. You can't follow to healing. You can't follow. It has to be you taking it in and making it your own based on your how and your why. I can't stress this enough. We have too many fucking people wanting to reach out to us, wanting to sit there and tell us we charge too much, we do this, that, we ask and demand too much. I mean, shit, Vladi will turn people away because he literally came in. He's like, if you can't sleep, if you can't go to bed at this time, can't do this, I'm not giving you programs. I'm not doing this. Come back when you've slept. Like, literally, he'll turn people away. There's not many purists out there who will take your money over hiding a principle. We stand for something. Why? Because we know it's bigger than anything that anybody else is selling out there. It's truth. It's capital T. It's stuff we all have access to that we're not lacking. It's all within us. It's all around us. We have everything we need to live this best life. We've been told and tricked into the story that we need something from a government official. We need something from a school or university system. We need something from a bank. We need something from a food conglomerate. We need something from medicine. We don't need shit. Now we have these posers over here on these health freedom groups or these health gurus or these spiritual awakened platforms that have you feeling the same thing. Come to our festival. We're going to have all these people talk, and then we're going to record all this stuff, and then we're going to dangle it like carrots so that you pay more shit and we can harvest your emails and bring you in. That's this other twisted side, knowing that you guys are open to anything because we've all experienced this massive trauma of 2020. Now everything's up for grabs. It's so beautiful that everything is wiped clean, but the scary part is that people are literally up for grabs. The other side, the beneficial side, the side fighting for your freedom, knows this and has all these individuals within these groups poaching and vulturing your information, selling you ideas, selling you stories, selling you shit. The other side's doing the same thing, that you're flawed, that you're weak, that you're diseased, that your body attacks itself, that you need something from the outside, and I have the solution. I'm going to sell it to you. Sign up for my email. Here we go. You need us. You need me. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So what I'm fighting for is that capital truth to put the power back in yourself. What am I gaining from this? Yeah, I do Zoom sessions. Yes, I have an office, but what do I stand to gain? Getting attacked from people telling me to change my message, tone down my thing. I could reach better people. I could reach people if I toned it down. Do you fucking understand where I'm coming from or what I've experienced in this whole thing or what's at stake here? If you're asking me to tone it down, you have your head in your fucking asshole and you don't have any idea what's at stake here. If that offended, you turn me off and don't ever follow me again. I really don't care. But I've seen what's at stake. I know the severity and the critical nature of life, of what human is and what's being threatened from the holistic, naturopathic, green gurus. It's just as toxic. Now everything's up for grabs and you're getting poached, man. You're getting vultured. You're getting leeched on. And I want you to be aware that you don't need anybody to leech to you. You don't need anyone. But at some point, you're going to have to lead in your own life. You're going to have to play the lead. in your own healing, in your own life-changing process. It has to be that way. Okay, so we're back. Anyway, that whole long story, I don't even think why I got off on that, but my Instagram used to be NakedTJ_ because I got deleted twice. It was Dr. Tommy John. I've dropped the doctor title. I burned my license, and we're going to get to that first, and why I burned my license, why I don't want to have anything to deal with that licensure or chiropractic or what people are saying is chiropractic or anything health related, and I don't want to be called a doctor. It's a fucking embarrassment now. But I've retaken back my name. My name, when I got deleted the second time, I couldn't put in Tommy John. Tommy John would get flagged. There was like hashtags weren't coming up. There was this big thing because apparently my message was threatening to those that want to help us. Just curious if you guys still think that there's some sort of a pandemic and don't really know that it's ultimately been a hoax and a sham the entire time, what I've been fucking saying since March 2020. Okay, we're good. But anyway, I couldn't put in my name, so I did Omi the cat and then NakedTJ_. Oh, I wasn't happy with the whole NakedTJ one because also people thought it was like a nudity thing, and the word naked and like gets people going because there's this definition of a word that they feel, and it's like you're missing the point of why I said NakedTJ. NakedTJ came from I'm not editing or hiding anything anymore, especially since getting and there's meetings going on in the Health Freedom for Humanity group, and a certain doctor had a meeting held because my posts were so offensive and they were threatening her practice and her whole fucking spiel. Oh, she's one of the most dangerous people out there. I'm telling you right now, this person had this problem and they wanted to censor my posts and bring it down and do all this shit. And I was like, okay, I'm not cool with that. I'm going to go ahead and exit. And if I'm censored by a freedom group, what the fuck do you think is going on out there? That censorship should be the scariest thing of all. And having somebody try to use discernment with me or try to edit me or try to control me, we're trying to control anybody from being their truest self. That's one of the biggest, most shocking problems we've got going on right now. So I couldn't be my name, and I didn't like the naked because the naked was getting misinterpreted, as I said, but it was really shedding this edited version of ourselves, taking off all sorts of masks, not just the ones that are ineffective in doing anything viral, as if viruses ever existed before ever and have ever been shown to cause any type of disease, which has never happened in the history of ever. So that's put aside. Just hope we get past that there. But I'm talking about the mask that people wear to be with your parents. You got to put on a mask. To go out to dinner with your parents so you meet their fucking friends, you got to put on a mask. To go to church, you got to put on a mask. To date that girl or date that guy, you got to put on a mask. To go to your office so that you can sell imaginary money in a computer system, you got to put on a mask. To go through a university system, you got to put on a mask. To exist in society, what mask do you have to wear? Especially women. My God, what we're doing to them. Put on masks. This is unbelievable. So we shed it. We take it. We take your clothes off. Take everything off. Bare soul. Bare everything. Stay unedited. Stay uncensored. Don't fucking edit yourself. Stay loud. If it's your truth, say it. People don't have to listen to you. They don't have to be around. They don't have to engage with you. It's their choice. But we have to start literally, truly being naked and just letting everything out and being our truest selves. We were ripe for the picking for this fake pandemic in 2020 because we had lost all total sense of self, values, and belief systems. We don't have any clue what we believe in, what we value, what we're willing to stand for. We don't have any idea. That's why these groups are so attractive and why the Dr. Campbells are so attractive to listen to in his videos. And my God, like, that's why those people are such fucking posers, having these little lemmings coming after them and listening to them, thinking they have anything to offer anybody that isn't just straight dangerous. With so easy to grab, you guys. I was literally talking to a friend last night. If I was dark and corrupt, or if I was like literally just a Nimrod, like most of those people in the freedom groups, or most of these doctors playing health practitioners and all this stuff, I could sell you guys anything. I could sell stem cells and PRP and essential oils and injections and scraping tools and lasers and water and beds and pillows and air systems and fucking supplements and herbs and oils and orthotics and plants and creams and fucking weed and mushrooms. I could sell you guys everything and make a fortune if this was about me. You are so easy to sell. I could literally do it. Me and this other person, we could literally do that. So easy. It wouldn't even be fucking difficult. I could literally just say, I do it. You guys would buy it. Because you're enamored by my lifestyle, which is great. You can have this life too. Oh, I'd be so lucky you're at the beach. Move. What are you talking about, luck? This isn't luck. I got this. I came and earned this. This was here. Come get it. I could sell you anything. But instead, I'm selling the power that is inside you back to you. That's it. What do I have to gain from this? Your reacquisition of your own fucking life. So to even think that you can DM me or message us or do whatever and say that we're selfish and this and we owe you and it should be free and all this stuff, like, oh my God. You're lucky I don't sell the shit that these freedom groups are selling. You're lucky that the participants on these platforms are selling you. I could buy sailboats. I could buy land and fill it with crops and do all this stuff right now. Probably where I'm going, but I could really, really, really cut this off and think that I'm doing a good thing, and I could sell you guys fucking anything. I have you wondering what's in my cup. You can't live your day without knowing what's in my silver cup. That's how easy it is. What kind of grapes? Why grapes? Oh my God. A stinging nettle tea. Sold. I could literally do it. I'm not getting anything from that. Anything I'm sharing is just principles of life. I'm just showing you what I do and what repeatedly works for me because it's based on the truth, based on principles that are always here, always have been here, and always will be here. Repeatedly work. Boom. Forces of life. We got it. I like partnering with the strongest force on the planet, which is life. If I made it and sold it, I'd know it'd fail because I'm human. And humans creating things are flaw all over the place. But the perfect power and the perfect force and the perfect math and the perfect harmony, the perfect frequency and the perfect communication, the perfect dialogue, the perfect relationship, symbiotic relationship of us to each other, to inside, to on our skin, to outside, to plants, to the moon, to the sun, to the air, to the ocean is fucking perfect. The ability to heal is perfect. Regenerate, perfect. Repair anything is perfect. A couple of us saying that same thing, but I took back my name. On Naked TJ, I've changed it because Tommy John III is back, and that's who I am. Tommy John III is the owner of the page. Tommy John III is my handle. That's it. Taking myself back. Never been freer. And I will say fuck off. If you don't like what's going on, I didn't invite you to this party. And for you, anybody to have the audacity to send me a direct message or send me something and ask me to change in some way, you can go fucking eat it. It's cute. It's cute that you guys try and ladies try. It's adorable. It's not going to work. We've got entirely too much of this, people thinking that we can send emails and send texts and send DMs and ask people to change their message or change how they go about it. That you would even think that that's a possibility. God damn. Could you imagine if we could just go into anybody's office and be like, I just really don't like the way you're going about real estate. I think it's a waste. I think you trying to sell earth is arrogant and it's not yours. Or I think you should change the way you sell essential oils. I think you're selling a lie saying that, you can put this on and you're hiding a symptom and that you be diffusing calm and peace and calm is going to lower ADHD, increase focus and do all this shit because the Young Living manual said so. Or I think that's a lie. I think you should change. Oh, okay. Or I think you selling imaginary money or trading imaginary money that nobody has and nobody knows where it is and you being the best at selling this imaginary thing. I think you could do it differently in a more humane way. Or what the fuck are you talking about? Okay. So Tommy John III back on Instagram. Coming back strong. Okay, why did I burn my license? You saw me burn my degrees, and my degrees were a part of a system that is just a branch of this other troubled system, that big pharma, that government, that agriculture, that tech, that everything is all controlled to feed you this story that's going in the university systems, that you have to get a college degree, you have to get a master's degree, you have to get a further education degree, you got to go into debt, you got to earn money, you got to do all this stuff to pay back the debt, you got to buy stuff, you got to do all these things. Okay. Then you're going to get married, then you're going to have a kid, then you're going to buy a house and go into further debt, and you're just going to keep going. All right. So that whole degrees, they really were just a time for me to get fucked up for 2 years and play college baseball. I wanted to be a professional baseball player, and I was. Fell ass backwards into a bachelor's and master's that were a fucking joke. Furman University was a joke. You could get through those classes semi-comatose. It was a disaster. And then you go to the chiropractic program. And as I said, the bulk of our chiropractic education, no part of it was chiropractic. In 14 quarters, there was nothing that was purely the purity of chiropractic and the unique nature that chiropractic was based on. No part of it. Zero. A big donut. And this isn't one of those happy donuts. This is a fucking donut. Chiropractic school is not chiropractic at all. It's actually orthopedic, physical therapy and injuries and joint issues and a little bit of nutrition based on veganism and vegetarian, all this bullshit. And then health insurance coding and how to treat and lower symptoms and all these skin diseases and all this shit. It's basically like ways to act like a medical doctor so you can communicate with a medical doctor so you can act like you kind of like are at their level, because the medical doctor is king dick, which we all know that that's an embarrassment. If you're a medical doctor, you should be embarrassed because the school you came through basically eliminated and destroyed any critical thinking you ever had or anything it is to be a human and how you look at how humans are and what you study and pathologies and everything else. It's unbelievable. So it was set up so that you could kind of try to communicate with the medical doctor. Now, the accreditation was only granted because the bigger parts of this, if there was a pure school that actually taught people how to teach others how to heal truly, the school wouldn't exist because these powers that be would never allow them to be there. They don't like the me's, the Cassies, they don't like us being here, giving you the power to take you back. They don't like that. So they'll do everything necessary, threaten your license, threaten your home, threaten your life, threaten all these things so that you don't exist. So the chiropractic schools hike up their skirts and pull their fucking string out of their tampon and stick around and keep their accreditation by doing the dance that the other parts allow them to do so that they can go ahead and take 200 grand out of you and you could pay it back and you have a degree in chiropractic. A doctor in chiropractic should be embarrassed. Doctorate of physical therapy should be embarrassed. Same thing. Just feeding this engine. What's this engine? Symptom-based care. This hurts. Call this something, code it, label it, tell it that you need to do something to it, and we're going to take away this pain, and that's an unlucky deal, and you stepped wrong, or you threw wrong, or you're old, or you have this age thing, which age doesn't exist and isn't a real thing, and you have all these problems and these tissues, and your body's random, and it attacks itself, and it's flawed, and you're attacking, and these feelings that you have is not healing, and you need us to heal, and you need to do the best you can. You only get to 80% of what you were before you even had the injury, and then we exit you because your health insurance doesn't cover it anyway. And if you're a cash practitioner, we'll make it fucking almost impossible for you to exist. And you're going to go ahead and stick with the labels and sell the most shit, sell the shoes, sell the pillows, sell the lasers, send your mattress to the grave because the mattress hurts your back, which makes 0 sense at all. A baseball hurts your arm, 0 sense. A curb hurts your foot. Germs cause disease. Viruses equal disease. I don't know. It's all just this big hoax, but perpetuating this whole symptom-based care deal. Now, the bulk of our chiropractic education also was identifying tumors. Why would we identify tumors? So that when we take x-rays, because they want you to take x-rays, so that we can find shit and then send them to the oncologist, which is another hoax. The whole cancer deal. The whole thing there. Guys do or don't like my sign. They're not wearing masks, so I think they're all right. So now we send them, and now they have something to point at and you to get their talents in. And they're going to tell you that you have this thing and you're flawed and your body's attacking and you need their stuff, and they're going to cut it out, and they're going to tell you that the skin cut is going to heal, but what's going on inside doesn't heal. So the power to heal the body only works with the cut that they created. But that stuff underneath, it doesn't work that way. Could you imagine if we itemized what the body does or doesn't do? The whole fucking system's flawed. But they would have us outsourcing to that side, or outsourcing to an orthopedic surgeon, or outsourcing to somebody else. That's brilliant. Now you have tens of thousands of chiropractors locating, identifying all this stuff and sending out, or being terrified that you're going to hurt somebody. Holy shit, what a perfect plan. just keep perpetuating not only what the medical schools are creating in these little drone zombies that have no idea how the body works or what it's done, studying down in their studies that's owned by peer review. Who are the peers? More of the fucked up people. The whole thing. Science is owned. It's not even real anymore. So this whole deal of chiropractic and massage and acupuncture and PT and holistic and naturopathic schools, they're all pulling the same stuff. Only on the healthy, holistic side of it, it's just green allopathic. It's green. It's supplements, oils, and herbs instead of drugs, surgeries, and injections. So I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Burn my degrees. Fuck you. I'm out. Now comes the license renewal on my birthday. And I was waiting for this, so I did a whole bunch of things that the license was more effective at doing, like picking up cat shit, wiping my mouth after eating a beautiful pizza, wiping my feet off on a doormat. This license was an absolute joke. It's me asking permission of the state of California to be able to do what I do to put people in positions to heal themselves. Permission? But the medical person down the road who gets to literally tell somebody that they are going to die unless they get burned, cut, or be on this medication, and their approach kills, it's the third leading cause of death, I believe, medical error, and they just get to do whatever and protect. I'm not a part of this anymore, besides what chiropractic stands for and what the schools stand for. So me burning my license had nothing to do with me being afraid of the board showing up and all this. I never cared from the beginning. I never did what we were supposed to. Even the name of my business is supposed to be named something. There's like rules and regulations on what is named. Fuck you. I'm sorry. Real medicine isn't dangerous. Like real health approaches and the real medicine men and women, it's not dangerous. Not ever dangerous. That other side, holy shit. Injecting anything they tell you. The stories they tell people. It's unbelievable. Cutting out organs on the possibility that that organ could turn this, that, and the other, what they say, when it's an inconclusive test anyway. Cutting a fucking organ out. And you're like, okay. Why? Because you've been terrified by a story that they tell you. Holy shit. So I don't want to be a part of that anymore. Of course I don't want to be a part of that anymore. Burn my license. I'm done. Out. So what am I going to do? The same thing as I was doing before, only as Tommy John, Performance and Healing Center. Boom. Getting people in positions to heal themselves. And I will call you out. You come and shadow me as a chiropractor, you better get ready because I'm going to call you out. And how you're practicing, you come shadow me as a PT, I'm going to call you out. You better know your shit. Because if you do, if anybody comes and knocks at Cassie, me, or Vlad and comes at us and like tries to check what we're doing or what we believe or what we repeatedly prove day in and day out, we like laugh. Like, are you kidding me? You're attacking like my life. You're not attacking something I just learned this last weekend that was marketed and a new technique or anything else. You're not attacking like a program I'm a part of. You're attacking my way of life. Fuck off. Like, this is how I live. You don't have to go ahead and do this. It doesn't have to make sense to you. It makes sense to me. Works for me. And me selling the principles or sharing the principles with people and they put them in, it's a guaranteed lock. It's how it works. So I'm no longer a part of any of that. The system has to crash. All systems need to crumble. Both sides. I've talked many people out of going to school this year, and I'm so pumped up about it. I've had people tell me they dropped out of college. Fuck yes. How about that? Everyone else will have you thinking like, oh, college dropout. You're some sort of a degenerate. College dropout to me, that person knows what's up. I'd want to hang out with them. I'd want to see where they go and what they're doing because something big is going to happen with them. They get it. But this whole college degree and everything else and degrees and licenses and certifications, to even think that a license or a certification or a degree on a wall gives somebody the right to tell you that they know more about your body than you do. That's the scariest thing there. That it's even that I went to a pathology class, that I studied slides of people who were expressing healing responses and they pulled tissue out of those people and they're pointing to the healing responses, calling it disease and sickness. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not just talking about the scam and the hoax of virology, the whole discipline of virology, which has never been, no virus has ever been isolated or shown to cause disease ever in the history of ever. I'm talking oncology. I'm talking obstetrics. like the whole childbirth thing. As I've said before, you have a better shot of birthing a healthy baby being born in a fucking jungle than you do in an American hospital system. The vaccine program, my God. But these papers, these pieces of paper on the wall, having you outsourcing your choices, your freedoms, your power to these people that they would know, that they would have any idea what your story is, that they would have any idea what it's like to be you. No clue. But we put it up there. We glorify these godlike creatures because they have a degree. And the more degrees they have, I'm telling you right now, the more certifications, degrees, licenses, and the letters after their name they have, the more disconnected they are as to anything that it would be to be a human, to knowing themselves. They're not healed. They're broken. They're fucked up. You want to stay as far away from these people as humanly possible. Stop the thing, record, rewind, and go back and play that whole thing again. The more titles we have in front of the name, the more letters we have after, the more licenses, certifications, degrees anybody has, they are the most disconnected people we have. And we put so much stock in their words now. We will blindly just walk off a cliff and be like, but they told me to. But they did it. But they're selling it. It's the most expensive one. They had the best seats in their waiting room. I couldn't get with them. Their waiting list was like forever. But he had the nicest suit. But his staff was busty. His staff had big tits, inflated lips, like clean. The little girl flirted with. I mean, it's fucked up. It's so fucked up. Oh, something else I did. I threw out my computer. I threw out my posture grid. I'm throwing out my Titron because I couldn't get anybody to buy it. I was calling out chiropractors, so it really wasn't. But it's like a $5,000, $4,000 thing. I'm throwing it out. I want nothing to do with any part of this. My whole office was set up. I was looking at these things. I'm like, it's all these tests and tricks to show people that they're fucked up so that they go ahead and buy stuff. And I'm like, I was a kind of a part of that. Like I needed something on that first day to show you so that you would come in and like really be like, wow, I need to. Where now I don't do any of that shit. I have a conversation with them. I tell them that everything that they're going to do from this point on is going to change because they just heard this. If they want to move forward, they have to believe in it. If they don't believe in it, they can't go here because the only treatment that works is the one you believe in the most. And then we jump right into it. And they learn first and foremost because the best book to learn from is the book of personal experience. And they will learn and experience firsthand what I'm talking about. Their inability to absorb force, their inability to move with fluid nature, their ability to control a joint. They're going to see firsthand, holy shit, feel that fatigue pattern, see what you did there, see what your toe did there. Isn't that cool? Oh my God, I get it. Here's the 3 things we should own. You want to walk? Walking's not training, hiking's not training, running's not training, biking's not training, swimming's not training. There's skills. There's foundational movements done at certain performance capacities to express the skill, done in certain sequences to express walking, hiking, jogging, throwing, whatever, pickleball, all this stuff. But that's not training. So you can't count it as training. So at some point, you're going to have to do training to allow that to happen, which is the fun shit. But just ability to walk. Here's 3 things for your ability to walk. Own these 3. You can walk as far as you want and as long as you want. Done. Here it is. But they will learn firsthand. But I literally tossed out all this shit that had me identifying as a chiropractor. Oh, my God. Shoulders feel a little fresher. Not carrying that shit around with me that is just embarrassing. The title doctor, I just don't want to be affiliated with anymore because it's so embarrassing what that licensure or what that degree or what that thing says that they allowed you to do. Oh, my God. Okay. So that's why I burned my license. And if you want to check that video, it's all over all the stuff. Yeah, that was pretty freeing. All right. Let's go with, we've already talked about water. We've already talked about stretching, jogging, that stuff. There's a concept I wanted to retouch upon because it was big. Something that I talk about where from the standpoint of you just being human equals athlete. So everybody being like athlete equals sport. No, it doesn't. human equals athlete, athlete equals human. Every human is supposed to be athletic. We're supposed to move. We're supposed to move at certain speeds. We're supposed to move with certain amounts of force. We're supposed to express certain skills like throwing and climbing and crawling, punching, bracing, wrestling. Like these are human feats that in order for you to survive, even in this automated, comfortable, convenient world, the nature of you still exists, that you have to be a human and express these things. So we train that way, everybody. So one of the biggest areas of transfer, like there's this engine, the superhuman engine called the glutes, the hip flexors, the hamstrings, the quads, the deep connectors of the hip, the back, the abdominals. This midsection is a fucking like infinite horsepower engine. And this engine is infinite, meaning it literally is infinite. The woman that picked up the car, her engine expressed that. It was allowed to do that because we have all this magic that's released for these really rare moments that if you train properly or you stimulate properly or you nourish properly, you sleep, you do these things, that magic will be released more oftentimes. And you can do the superhuman stuff that's just basic human stuff. But the engine of this analogy expresses itself through the tires and through the tires. And the engine is only as good as the tires. You could have this infinite horsepower engine on balding plastic bullshit toy tires, and the engine will either, if it stayed the way that it is, which is infinite, powerful, it would blow those tires up and melt them and explode them, and the whole system would come crashing down. Well, where's the governor or the regulator, the executor of this whole thing? Who governs this whole thing? Oh, the brain. So if the brain's getting messages from all these tissues telling the status of it, like, yo, our feet, ankles, and calves are dog shit. They're plastic toy tires because I've kept them in foot coffins called shoes. Or I listened to my podiatrist, which is the joke of a profession, and he told me to put these custom-made orthotics in, which completely shut down everything. Or I went to those dipshit running stores, and those running stores tricked me by putting me on video and showing me that there's a right way to run and a wrong way to run, and that if I wear these shoes, it's going to protect me in the right way to run. Or while I'm doing the wrong way, until I do the right way, which is what their expert's going to tell me to do. Holy shit. So my feet are far gone, and the fact that I just don't use them anymore because my life is automated. I'm riding e-bikes, I'm taking elevators, I'm taking escalators. I park close everywhere I go. I'm doing all these things. So my feet, ankles, and calves, my tires are dog shit. So the brain goes, okay, dog shit tires, downshift the engine. Go ahead and make it like a Honda, is what I said. And I can make fun of Hondas because I have a Honda. It's not compared to a Ferrari or a Lambo or even those intergalactic, like space type engines, like my science project type engine. That fucking engine was rad. But it'll go ahead and downshift to even like a go-kart engine, depending on the status of the tires that it gets. Well, we have tires at the bottom. We also have tires at the top, which are the hands, wrists, and forearms, and the shoulders. Those are another engine. Those are another tire related to that engine. If the status of those areas is telling the brain that the engine's going to tear this apart, the brain will go ahead and downshift that engine. What does downshifting that engine look like? Tight hip flexors, tight low back, weak abdominals, weak, mushy, pudgy glutes, hamstrings that are tight as fuck. That's a downshifted engine. No ability to squat down to the ground, no ability to stride out and lunge for 2 minutes, at least body weight, no ability to march in place, no ability to do any of this stuff to survive a jump down off a step, We don't have any ability anymore. The engine has been downshifted. Now, everyone in the profession of training and rehab and sports performance and all this other stuff will have you believing that the downshifted engine, those tight hip flexors need to be passively stretched or tricked out or foam rolled or something done to them because you're dysfunctional. Something's wrong with you. You're wrong. You're flawed. We're going to help fix you. I fix you. I fix you. Buy our shit. Buy our shit. Where I look at it as like, this is such a brilliant aspect of the human body. The fact that it knows to downshift to protect the feet, ankles, and calves, because if it kept it souped up, it would rip those feet apart. And some of you have experienced that where your Achilles just, and everything just rips apart. Or your shoulder just gets ripped apart. I look at them like, oh my God, this is so brilliant. When I phrase it like that and show them and tell them another story than something they never heard before, They're like, my God, wait, I'm a player in this whole thing. I can get this all souped back up again. Yes, you can. And you don't need me. Maybe I point just a little bit, then you go take off. It's all on your own. So that's what I mean with that whole thing, is that if you come in with a wrist condition, or your wrist is expressing healing, meaning stiffness, pain, and swelling, your shoulder or your elbow or your spine, I'm going to go ahead and address that infinite horsepower engine, because everything is the tires. The tires are above and below, and the tires transfer that energy from the farthest ends to the center, and then past each other to the farthest ends again. So that's why if you come in, I always joke, you come in with a wrist or shoulder or elbow issue, and you leave with like feet, ankles, calves, hamstrings, ass. Or if you came in with an ankle, you leave with like wrists and shoulders and feet, ankles, abs, and ass. Like everyone's coming in, and everybody needs to be developed the same way. We all came out, we were on the same training program, we were all on the same diet. What was that? Fuck tons of movement and breast milk. Breast milk, you mean I should get back on the milk diet? Not what I'm saying. Where did that milk come from? The source. Mother. So our nourishment plan should be sourced. Mother, earth. Where's the food come from? Fruits, vegetables? Sure. Animals grazing this beautiful earth that like are consuming these fruits, are connecting to the land, or doing it in ways that Nick Wallace is of wallacefarms.com, right? Like this regenerative farming, what you've been told, and that you need commercial farming is so fucked up. And the whole shift to vegan and vegetarian is so fucked up. And if you can't see through that, there is a sourced way to nourish. Is it a diet? It's source. We've always been connected to source. Everybody was on the same nourishment plan. Everyone was on the same training plan. What was that? Fuck tons of movement. Look at a joint. How does it move? Move it a fuck ton. Look at a couple joints. Move them. Explore it. But I have pain when I do it. Change it. Or don't go as far. Do more. Stay with the pain. Shit. Don't take stuff to hide the pain. That whole like I got to take stuff so I can move because this X and Y, Z hurts. You're supposed to feel pain. It's the guide. The symptoms are the guide. But again, when we get back to that whole engine scenario, the whole movement scenario, the whole how we were like our greatest trainers, and we were our greatest nutritionists. But to even think that we got to hire these people, I want to be out of business. And it should happen. Hopefully in my lifetime. Like it's great. That's why I give people on these Zoom sessions, like your first 3 months, the program you have, you could just run with, because your intention changes the whole plan every time you go and enter it. A plan isn't the same. It's only stale because you're fucking bored because you forgot the reason why you were doing it in the first place. If you're bored from a plan, the fuck is wrong with you? How are you bored with anything? How are you bored with anything we get to experience? You're a completely different person when you enter it. Go explore who you are today in that same plan. So when people go, it's up to them to contact me. They really don't have to. On that day one, they're gone, because intention changes that whole who you are within it and why you're doing it. It's infinite. There are infinite levels that you'll break through with the same plan. Plans aren't here to entertain you. It's really like, what did a baby do? It moved till it got tired and it stopped. And then it took a break, ate, sucked on the nipple, shit itself, napped, back up, moved some more, wasn't competing against other babies. It was just exploring its bounds, pushing its limits, courageously trying to take a step, knowing it's going to fall. Once it gets that ability to stand up, it's going to climb over shit and drop and fall, and then it's going to start jumping off stuff. Like no fear whatsoever. Just pushing it, no limits, till we tell them what to fear and tell them what the limitations are, and tell them that they can't have that item, or they can't be that thing, or they can't earn that, or can't do that. The fact that you can imagine it means it's possible. We got to get back to that source, back to the way that things used to be. And we've got this best opportunity now. So when I talked about that whole engine thing, that's where I said, now that's what I was getting at. Now people are like, okay, now what's the exercises to like connect the feet and the hands with the engine? I don't know. Go figure it out. I've given you an entire book full of shit. There's a YouTube video full of stuff. All these YouTube videos. Watch a baby, mimic a baby. Pick 2 or 3 things a baby does. Own them. Pick something that's very difficult for you. Do it. We've been scared that there's a right and wrong way to move because of the yoga fucking certifications and the Pilates certifications and the occupational therapist certification, the physical therapist certification, even worse, the doctor of these things. They've gotten you to think that there's some sort of right or wrong way to move. And if you move that way, you're going to be more susceptible to injury. And we've studied and this and that. Holy shit. Could you imagine living a life where movement was a fear? They've got you already thinking that feelings are a disease and your thoughts are a disease called the whole psychiatric fucking sham and the mental health disorder. Oh my God, what a lie. That you're diseased, that movements are wrong. Come on. You're better than that. I think still needs to be shown, but the potential's there. Okay. And then I might call this. It's been a while. I want to train. I'm going to move some shit. I'm going to move some joints. I'm going to leave it. All right. I know it's been a while. Keep staying tuned. Get Naked with TJ podcast. Follow Tommy John III on Instagram. Follow me. Get suggestions. That's all you're going to see is my life in video form, in post form, and I will bring it because I've seen where this is headed. I've seen this for over 20 years. We are at our all-time low. And when I say that, I'm not joking. I'm not trying to shock value you into listening to me. I've been observing people and their status and their performance levels for 20 plus years on all levels, not just can they bench press or jump, but their nourishment, their emotions, their sleep, their nervous system output, all these things, their peace, not doing well. We are at an all-time low, physically incompetent, malnourished, overfed, overwatered, undersunned, under-meditated, over-medicated, over-supplemented and herbed, over-specialized, over-gurued, over-educated, underslept, disconnected, no values, no beliefs, outsourcing every part of ourselves to everything, no self-autonomy, no version of authentic, nothing. We've totally hit a bottom that I've never seen before. That's the shit that scares me. That's the shit that Vlade and I would have these deep, long conversations on. And we knew 5, 6 years ago, something bad was going to happen. And we've bottomed out since this whole charade and this entire hoax, 100% hoax. No part of this is real. Since this whole thing started, we have fucked ourselves up beyond anything imaginable. And we think we are amazing. We think we're doing well. I can promise you, we're not any better than we were March 13th, 2020. Far worse. Has nothing to do with a fake pandemic. It's our values and beliefs and our version of self. We got to find ourselves again. It's going to sting. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. Daily effort to find self. I urge you. It's okay. Everyone else is doing it. No shame, no guilt. Don't edit. Don't censor. Don't worry about what somebody else thinks about what you're saying. If they text you or DM you, tell them to fuck off. If they can't handle the new version of you, assuming you're coming from a place of kindness and generosity and you're trying to better yourself. Because if we truly are, there's a service here. You owe it to society to heal yourself. You owe it to deny aging. If you aren't wiser, stronger, and more beautiful as you're aging, carrying on in years, measurement of years, that's aging, like living here longer. If you're not climbing, the fuck are you doing? You're hurting humanity. There's your march. We should be marching at the people that have believed that something like sickness or disease is real, that your body's against itself, that you age and you just decline and turn into this massively stiff, surgically repaired mess, just totally unaccountable and irresponsible. Yeah, I'm more pissed at you than the people wearing masks or getting vaccine. I don't even care about somebody wearing a mask or getting a vaccine. That's fucking awesome. They believe in it. if that's the thing. Don't try to expect me to do it. But I'm pissed at the people hanging out at the rallies and this stuff who have let themselves go even farther, who are yelling and screaming and on these platforms and selling stuff and getting other degrees and marching and talking at these rah-rah, like, get-together venues. Are you any healthier than the last time you spoke your bullshit? You're the ones I'm afraid of. And you're the ones that want to cut your ankles off. If you are not improving yourself day to day, you are hurting humanity. That is your service to society. You are supposed to heal. You are supposed to be a better version of yourself. And that's how we bring back those elders. That's how we bring back those people we're learning from. That's the true schooling, is when we get the experience of these people and the wisdom of these people and the strength of these people and the stories that they've got, the fucking stories of truth, and they tell it on down the line. That's the schools. That's how we prevail. Well, we need someone to get to that part and like actually elevate themselves instead of like, well, I am 40 or I am 50 or I did have this surgery or I lost my gallbladder because I'm irresponsible, humongous, and it was this previous life before, and I'm going to use it as a crutch, but I'm going to take oils and I'm going to say I'm healthy and this and that, but I don't know. If somebody tells me and puts me a mirror in front of me and asks me to change every inch of my life, I'm going to go ahead and say you're full of shit and you're too expensive or you don't know what you're talking about. That's cool. You're the most dangerous people here. If you are not bettering yourself every single day, you are butt fucking humanity. Rewind, record, share that. If you didn't like that, unfollow me. It's all good. Capital T Truth. Get naked with TJ. See you next time.